It was 1963 in New York City, and Maxine Brown, a nurse, was looking for a place to live. She applied for an apartment owned by Donald Trump's father, Fred.
I was turned away because of my color.
While at the time Donald was only 17, he was already involved in the company. Stanley Leibowitz was the rental agent who took Maxine's application.
Fred Trump came into my office with his son Donald at his side. I asked him what I should do with the application of Miss Brown. He told me at that time to take the application and put it in the desk drawer, as he does not rent to people of color, utilizing the N-word, and Donald shook his head, agreeing with his father.
By 1967, state investigators reportedly found out that out of some 3,700 apartments in Trump Village, only 7 were occupied by African-American families. By 1973, Donald Trump was the president of Trump Management. Annette Gandy Fort, a teacher, applied to a different Trump building.
I was black. I was not wanted. I don't think that it looked good in their estimation to have black people living in their facility.
She says there is no doubt in her mind that Donald Trump continued the practices of his father. The Department of Justice alleged a Trump employee was instructed to write C in order to indicate that the prospective tenant was colored.
The super said that there were no apartments, and that was not true.
Donald started his career back in 1973 being sued by the Justice Department for racial discrimination.
Annette was part of that lawsuit.
We, along with many, many other companies throughout the country, as a federal lawsuit, were sued. We settled the suit with no admission of guilt. It was very easy to do.
Court records show it actually wasn't so easy to do. 3 years after the settlement, the Department of Justice went back to court saying Trump was not complying with the settlement agreement. 4 years later, the Trump Organization was again taken to court in a class action lawsuit alleging a pattern of racial discrimination, some 20 years after Maxine Brown was turned away. The Trump Organization and several other landlords settled the class action in 1984. Sheila Morse was one of the white testers who was sent into a Trump building a day after a black applicant was told no apartments were available.
When I got there, the superintendent greeted me with open arms. Oh, yes, come, I'll show you the apartment.
Morse was offered a 2-bedroom apartment. Annette Fort says she would never have spoken up if Donald Trump had not tried to brush off his company's bad behavior.
I think it's important that history not be erased.
Cynthia McFadden, NBC News, New York.